Look,
Go
I gotta
ahead.
tell y'all, you gotta be strategic about when you unmask. Carnival said they sick of y'all unmasking, twerking, and line dancing and doing all the things on their ship. They said y'all can't do that no more. You can't bring no more friends. Carnival said, cut it out. They said, that's what Carnival said.
First of all, I seen a documentary. Carnival is full of it. Oh. Didn't they get rid of the fans or something? Wouldn't they say you can't bring the fans? You can't.
Yeah, so where them fans at? We don't know.
On Carnival.
I'm Shannon.
And I'm Lisa.
And KK's here too. And you're listening to Blacktivities.
A celebration of all things Black.
Black culture, Black history,
Black perspectives, and Black panache.
Celebrating our Blackness doesn't mean exclusion.
Everybody's invited, but you gotta come in and have a seat.
So let the Blacktivities begin. Hey, Blacktivities fam. I'm Shannon, a third of this team. I also got my girls, Lisa and KK. And today we're talking about something that I know every person of color probably experiences. And it's that mask that we have to kind of keep handy for when we're in mixed company. Mm-hmm. Even doing this show, like, I feel like I have to live like a double life. Because to me, I'm just talking about like my lived cultural experiences and how things affect my community. But people think that what we talk about is controversial. It seems like basically anything Black is deemed controversial in like the larger society. And that's irritating to me because it's like everybody else can talk about their stuff. Like our stuff doesn't matter. Like it just bugs me.
Right.
Before we get to that, let's talk some big facts. So when we talk,
you ain't did the voice in a while. I'm sorry, but I'll let you go ahead. But I just feel some type of way because it's been several episodes and you ain't did the voice in a while. You could go ahead. You ain't got to do it all because I said it. But no, go ahead, do you. But I just want to acknowledge that next season I need that. That's all. That's it. Pretty sure. Yeah.
You need the voice back.
Do it. Yeah. Don't do it now. I don't need no pity. You know what I mean?
I like the voice. I vote for the voice.
Right.
Even though I can find the voice. I know that you've added music. I like the music too, but I also like the voice.
Yeah. So
I'm for both.
Don't worry about it right now. Don't be trying to do nothing now. Go on and do you.
I'm trying to find it. Is this the right one?
Big facts. There we go. Hey. Hey, like I'm at the Mardi Gras.
When we talk about a mask, obviously we're not talking about a literal one, but a psychological one that separates our inner selves from how we have to present ourselves to survive. W.E.B. Du Bois called this double consciousness, that feeling of always looking at oneself through the eyes of a society that questions your worth, asking, how does it feel to be a problem? This wasn't just poetic language. It described our daily struggle of being Black, but not really being allowed to show up as our authentic selves. Over a century ago, Paul Laurence Dunbar captured this perfectly in his poem, We Wear the Mask. He wrote of a smile that grins and lies. During slavery and segregation, showing authentic feelings could be dangerous, so we hid our sorrow and anger. We had to perform. We had to be polite, have humility, fake joy and contentment. This mask didn't end with Jim Crow. Today, nearly half of Black college graduates say they still got a code switch, change how they speak, act, or express themselves, particularly at their jobs where their very identity might be seen as unprofessional or even threatening. Research confirms that Black employees are 3 times as likely as their white counterparts to adopt this mask at work, and nearly half see it as a necessity. But the mask is more than shifting speech. It's learning to suppress emotions, especially around prejudice and discrimination. Black Americans often hold back their honest reactions because they know that to express them might feed harmful stereotypes or have consequences. This is especially true for Black women who face unique pressures to self-silence, so they're not perceived as being angry or loud. Yet studies reveal that this constant self-policing increases their psychological distress and impacts their physical health. And sometimes it be your own people. Though we had good intentions and we're trying to challenge racist tropes and caricatures, we sometimes advise each other to dress a certain way or tone down aspects of our culture to be safe, accepted, or promoted. So here we are in the present, carrying the weight of centuries. The mask has adapted. It may look like a smile in a meeting, a change in inflection on a phone call, or like silence in the face of microaggressions, but it's heavy and it's exhausting. And that's big facts.
I was told one time this job that I had, because I do like to be myself when I'm at work. But I was told one time that they love my telephone voice and my ability of switching up because it was very professional. How do you not take that personal? Like, I understand,
like your regular voice is not professional.
Yeah, it's not professional, which I understand. I feel you. But I do understand the tone down, because when we're in a position to where we do tone it down, then that's when they pay attention to us and they be like, hey, what's going on? I like this like this new you. Like, what's going on? Bitch, I'm toning it down. So I can, get somewhere. I can't be myself. And of course, I'm not saying bitch at work, but I'm just saying, like, I can relate to having to code switch at work. And once I did figure out how I could still be my true self and let them know that this is what you're getting, I know how to be me and be professional. You just need to accept that. Like, this is me. This is how it is. Yeah. So.
Well, professionalism in and of itself is based out of white supremacy. So the whole concept of it comes from that. So it is not our culture, but it is that which has been created by, the dominant culture. And so because of that, it's rooted in those behaviors, those mannerisms, those ways, those conversations, which can directly contradict what we are. So that's what it's rooted in. And so within the realm of professionalism, like, we know how to be professional. I think what we add to the professional realm is, just like anything else, an element of warmth. So it is you being professional, but also being able to be that person. And I imagine, because I'm not at your job, but I imagine at work you make a lot of friends. I imagine at work a lot of people come directly to you who have worked with you because they had such a good experience. And that's because of your warmth, your energy, and professionalism has a tendency to be more stoic, and that's what you're not. And so
let me sit up. Hold on. Let me sit up. Say it, KK. Tell them.
I'm just saying, professionalism requires an amount of stoicism. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, when you bring warmth into an environment that is not necessarily warm, because you're in an environment where there could be some fear, there could be some trepidation, there can be a lot of different things. But then I walk in and I'm nervous, right? I'm nervous. But hey, I remember her, and I remember how she made me feel with her kindness, her energy, her attention. And it was still professional, but there was a warmth to it that I needed in that moment. So every time I go in there, I'm looking for you.
Exactly.
And
I think it's like everything else. Like we add like a little seasoning on it.
Exactly.
That needs to be there.
Exactly. Yes.
Yep.
I totally agree with you. And I've experienced that where not only have I had people come salt me because of that, what I gave to them, you know, they felt like they were at home and they can share anything, which is great. But I've also been in that position to where, I mean, I'm going to look for my own people if I can, you know what I mean? And it's not just Black people. White people do it with white people. They look for their own people. Hispanic people do it. They look for their own people. So that's not just us. That's all.
We're tribal.
Yeah. Yeah. So why not? I don't think it's a bad thing that you're going to look for somebody that you feel like can relate to or you feel comfortable. So
that's why diversity is so important too.
This is true.
Right. Because I'm looking for somebody that can relate to my issue.
Exactly.
We had conversations, and this is the beauty of diversity, equity, and inclusion. When you have people that somebody, I know I shouldn't say that word or use the acronym that's related, right? But when you have people like we were having conversations with our provider, and they would put it was for mental health, and they would put the person's name on there and their phone number, but there was no picture. There was nothing about the person. So if you're part of a certain group, let's say, you know, you're a person who belongs to a LGBTQ community. Well, you may want to have a therapist or something who can relate to whatever it is you're there for. Mm-hmm. If you're Latinx, you probably want to relate to somebody who understands what you go through. Same thing with Black people. I mean, you want that relatability. And so that you don't have to wear the mask in that moment. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't want to have a therapist or somebody and I have to wear a mask because I wear it every day. And I find that, and I've said it in certain public forums when I was speaking, that there are those who have the ability to cry. And the mask that Black women wear is we don't have time to cry. We're so busy. We don't have time to cry. We have no fragility at all. We can't rest in our femininity, a lot of us. And so you wind up just being this person who's constantly moving, but without the ability to shed tears. And when we do get a chance, it's in the shower.
Yeah. In the car.
Those 15, 20 minutes, it's in the car. Yeah. It's never just an opportunity to fully let it go. And I believe that's part of the mask. And we do it and we show up, we wipe those tears and we keep going.
Right. Literally.
This is true.
I literally have been in the car crying on my way to work, pulled in the parking lot, did like this, got my face together, walked in with a smile.
I'm sorry. I'm known for that. I'm known for that at my employer. How in the morning, I'm just like, because I'm not a morning person like that. But as soon as, you know, open for business, hey, how are you? How was your weekend? Like, I got it down, baby. Because when it comes to these bills and these coins, we got to put it on.
Gotta get it
out there like salsa dancers. Like, hey, we got these bills got to pay. We ain't got time for all that extra stuff. Let me tell you something, KK. What you just said right there. You hit the nail on the head. That was perfect. That gives a great example. That gives a great example of, you know, the things that we do experience. And it's just like, how can we come up with a way to where we can be our true selves and be accepted? Like, is it even possible?
I think it depends on what you're referencing. I'm sorry, Shannon. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I don't know. I find it like after being around people for a while, it's like I start to let a little bit more of it out.
The same way.
But I don't know if like 100% it could be that way.
Right.
And I always wonder, like, what would it be like to work for a Black-owned company or something where basically everybody is Black and you're just in Blackness every day, able to be.
Is it wrong for me to say that I feel like it would be harder because we're not on that level by us being Black people? So it'll be harder for us to, how can I say this properly? We don't have the same resources. So like, what Black business do you know that does have it to where there's a lot of Black people working together and it's working and it's mission well? Because
it might be a small business. It's not going to be like a corporation or anything.
Because I feel like because when you have a whole bunch of people that is experiencing life like that, then it's hard. We have to be mingled in. And that's just me personally, what I believe. You know, we have to be like mingled in with other people. We need the diversity and inclusion. You know what I mean? We have to be sprinkled among, it's nice to work along someone that, you can relate to. But I think we touched on this a little bit, or I may have asked y'all behind the scenes and not on the actual podcast. But I'm curious on like what it would be like to work among all Black people like that. Because I don't want to say unfortunately, because again, it's a good group of people, but I haven't been in that position to where I've been able to work alongside or be around a group. So unfortunately, because you have this one group because they relate because of their culture, and you have this one group because they relate. And then when you're by yourself, sometimes you're by yourself, and it's not on purpose. It's just because you don't have the same things in common that they do. So sometimes you are kind of left out there when it's just you, if that makes sense.
Okay, so I'm going to say something that's not going to be popular.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Let's go, KK.
I think that it would be ideal for some parts to have that scenario. I like that scenario, but I think there would be a whole nother set of problems that arose as a result. I mean, it could be something as simple as who used up all the hot sauce in the break room.
Oh, God, not the break room. Jesus. Well, it wasn't me, baby, because I ain't a hot sauce person. So go ahead.
Who used all the hot sauce? It could be something as simple as that, but there can be other concerns and a level of disappointment because all skin folk and kinfolk wasn't that an
true. True.
Yeah, and because we're not a monolith. I think there could be a whole nother set of circumstances, not necessarily deal breakers, but because we're human, we're going to have those certain, we're going to have certain issues with interactions anyway, because we're human and we don't all see the things the same way. But you would not have to wear, like, you could say what you wanted to say, right? But you also have the professionalism keeps a certain decorum in the office. I'm not sure what's happening here, but it keeps a certain level of decorum. So regardless of the environment, there are some benefits to professionalism, overall, that there's a code of conduct. And I think that's what professionalism does. It gives us a code of conduct. So I wouldn't mind being in the office with people who look like me, as long as we're not doing the, boots on the ground dance.
I don't know how to do it. Y'all know how to do
it. I don't want to do it on my lunch break.
Yeah, not me either, baby. I either go for a walk or sleep in my car.
Yeah.
Why do I take the best naps in my car? I don't understand that, but y'all go ahead.
Because it's comforting. That's a whole, we should probably have a conversation about that. I was just going to say that literally there are all elements of the code of conduct are not bad. We need them in business, regardless of the makeup of your staff or your team. You need a code of conduct, mission, vision, values, and professionalism. So I'm not against that. But in some circumstances, it causes us harm because you are demonized or tested. And we're often tested. I will say that, because the whole, you wear the mask, but there's oftentimes the poking of you to get you to let that mask go so that you can lose your job, so that you can lose your cool. And that's oftentimes what we see, like these Karens and some of these other people that test you. You have to keep that mask on, keep your decorum, keep your, poise or whatever.
The microaggressions are real.
The microaggressions are real. Yep. Very real.
Yeah.
Being an educator with all this stuff being politicized, and it's just like, I don't even know, like, if some parent might look me up or whatever and see that I do a show, and because it's called Blacktivities, they like have a fit about me teaching their child. Like, I'm not going to teach with integrity and try to like indoctrinate them with these crazy ideas because I'm woke, whatever the buzz term is for the moment.
Out there like this. She gonna stick to the curriculum, baby. Calm down. We talking about something totally different. Leave her alone. Not this one.
No, I'm not.
Now,
I would never
why you laughing?
I would never like try to make a kid believe what I believe or talk about my opinions.
No.
I do what's best for the kids. And even though we have a show called Blacktivities, like, I genuinely love everybody. I love just experiencing different cultures in general. So I would not treat a child a certain way because of their race or anything. Like, I treat all the kids like they're my own children.
And I do as well. So even the ones that come up to my job and they be wild, and I say, hey, you need to have a seat until your parent get done. Look, your mama right here with me. Now have a seat till she get done. And then I give them a piece of paper and a marker, let them draw while me and the parents take care of business. I treat them the same way. And I look at the parent, look, I'm sorry. I know this your child, but I don't want them to get hurt. So is this okay? They're like, yes, yeah, okay. Your mama said have a seat. And then we go about our business.
But with what you said, it's crazy that it has to even be justified or seen as.
But unfortunately, the way the world is, it sucks. We have to be this way.
Right. However, I do think that this should be a safe space, right? Where you can unmask. It should be a safe space, because in safe spaces and brave spaces, you should be able to be your authentic self. So why would we create something that specifically talks about the concerns? Every community has their own issues. Yeah. We just cover topics that are pertinent to our community. That's
correct.
It. That's all. And there's nothing, if other people can't relate, that's on them. But we should be able to talk about whatever is pertinent to that community. If women want to get together and talk about, their cycle, perimenopause, if they want to talk about all the things, skincare, fashion and things that women specifically talk about, nobody says anything about that. Mm-hmm. So there shouldn't be any controversy surrounding us unmasking and never thought this show would be an example, but it's the perfect example of an opportunity to unmask and decompress and show up as your authentic self.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I feel like we tend to create those safe spaces in our workplaces because, you know, if there are other people, other Black people, like I know some people I work with, I'll go to their room during my break and chat it up. And that's my chance to kind of take the mask off for a second so that I can prepare myself to put it back on when I need to.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's important that we're able to do that because it is a heavy thing to have to do that all the time.
Right.
And again, it was rough. It was very, very rough considering the things that did happen to me and the racism that I experienced and not being able to talk about it with anyone. And when I did, advice I was getting was, oh, don't pay attention to that. Just, don't take offense to everything. And
they don't understand
I'm sitting here like, what do you mean don't take offense to everything if I'm coming in here every day and something out of the way or inappropriate or racist is being said to me? So I had to, and I've been happy ever since, find a way to insert myself and my true self and a witty way of letting them know, watch what you say. Okay. Or a professional way of be respectful. And ever since then, I have been, happy. I mean, it's been better. It has been better. I'm not going to say it's 100%. It's just that I know how to nip it in the bud, set that boundary, and then continue to be myself. So
I think I'm getting to the place where, I mean, it's still necessary to have the mask, but I feel like my mask is like one of those Phantom of the Opera masks now. Yeah.
I'm gonna get some shirts made with that, Shay.
I'm just at the point where, to a certain extent, I don't care as much.
That's how I'm gonna show up to the Christmas party.
But I do know that there are real consequences for some people if they don't wear that mask. So
Right. I mean, I guess it all depends on exactly like the actual people that you're working with. The ones that do accept you for who you are, and then the ones that don't. Like, what do we do? Is that a place where, especially in the workplace, do we stay where we at? Or look at KK. Do we stay where we at and try to set that boundary, or do we deuce, go somewhere else?
that's not the place for me.
Okay.
So
That's how I feel about it now. That's not the place for me.
Yeah. Okay.
this right here is a perfect example of the need for DEI in the workplace.
Excuse me?
Yeah. So think about it. I know I said the forbidden word.
That is impossible.
You're too woke, KK.
I know. I just need to cut it out. This is the perfect example. See, a lot of people that were talking about it was so worried about quotas. But this conversation right here, what you just said was powerful. If there are people in my job, no matter what color, and they know me and we know each other and we're connecting, right? That is what employers were asking for with DEI. They were saying, how many people do we have that are like this? This group here, this group here, this group here. And now let's give them all an opportunity to get together to talk about how to make this a better place. How do we incorporate the connecting of everybody in this workplace? That way people can show up. People find out that they have more in common than not. People find out, oh my goodness, that's the neighborhood you live in. I live 6 blocks away. That's was the whole purpose of it, of making whatever workplace a better environment. That's what it was all about, connecting. And again, whether you were Chicano, Black, LGBT, whatever it was, it could have been, we had
a white woman.
Yeah, white women. We had one of our best groups was a white women's group. And they were focused really on how to become better human beings. That was their focal point. And, there's still, that group still exists to this day. But that was the whole point, because you could meet in silos, but then all get together. And that's when they find out how witty, Lisa is. And that's when they find out how, Shannon don't talk too much, but when she got something to say, she'll sneak a little.
She will say it. She will say it.
Real subtle. It'll be real
You be like,
low key.
You'll clutch your phone like, okay, Shay.
Yes. Yes. And that's the space. That's a safe and brave space for all of those different types of people to show up.
Right.
But everybody kept screaming about quotas and they're doing this and oh my God, there's preference. And that's not even what it was designed.
Right. Right.
That is one of the things that I love about where I work. Like pretty much everybody is represented from every group you can think of. Mm-hmm. Right. We got Spanish speakers. We got Korean speakers. We have Chinese speakers. Like the kids are very diverse at the school that I work. And the employees are also very diverse. And so like we actually have a Korean parents PTO. Wow. And they do a Korean lunch for us every year. So we get to experience that. We have a lot of Indian ladies who work there, and they do like a Diwali luncheon for us and cook the food. So it's just like, I love being a part of all those different cultures and experiencing that.
Unfortunately, I mean, with my job, we do have different networks and clubs that you can join. And I have to say, when there was that period where I felt like I was by myself, I did join the African American Network, and they have different type of events. I mean, every month there was some type of event. And what I would do is I would have to drive the weekend events. I would only have to do those. And I would drive to Atlanta and participate in these. And I have to tell you, that was the best time, being among people like myself in the same position and being able to bond over that, knowing that, okay, they also traveled. And we would do like the Pride Parade. My job would have a float in the little parade. They driving through Atlanta. They had the Black History things that was going on. They would meet up and have dinner certain weeknights. So if I knew that I could get the next day off, or I kind of figure it out, I would kind of join, and I was able to go and sit down with like people like myself. Now, keep in mind, again, the groups, the networks that they have, they're open to everybody. So, of course, they have the women's group, and the women's group can meet, and there will be some men, team members or employees that will come as well. So I think that it is good when a job is great, when your employer do have opportunities to where you can have outlets. Cause that saved me. That was a big break. And then also too, I was able to take my kids along to some of the special events, and hey, we had a blast, a blast.
And that's
oftentimes I feel like we are used to being like one of the only ones in the room, but it's like, if you take that and you flip it, I feel like it's not as common for people of other races to be like the only one mixed in with us. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I feel like a lot of them are nervous to do that, but we can be more comfortable in those spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah. And be allowed to unmask in those spaces. And it's interesting because we gather often around food, and eating is a social function. Mm-hmm. So if you think about how we ate in the past, the whole family's at the table.
Right.
The whole family. And when my bonus kids would come down on the weekends, it was like, yeah, you got, 2 or 3 days here. But during one of those days, we're going to sit down and eat as a family. Eating is a social function. Mm-hmm. And that's how we really got to know the kids and what was going on in their lives. It's a must do. And so when you have that in the work environment and you have the Indian food and you have the Korean food and you have the different things. Lisa, you talked about events and going there and meeting the children. Children are all unmasked. They're not masking. Children are not, they don't care. They're running around having a good time. And so, but it allows you to unmask and see people in a different state than you do Monday through Friday. So that is creating a safe space. That is doing the things that we need to do. And so I do advise people, if you have an organization that despite, whatever's happening, they're still intent on bringing people together, I say support it. I say become part of it. If it suits you, it doesn't work for everybody. And for those who say it's a job, I'm going home. I see you. I hear you, and I ain't disagreeing. But for those who feel like they need to connect or, they want to support or provide that space or be a part of it, then do it. Do whatever suits you. But I think the opportunity to unmask for us as a culture can look very different. It can look however we want it to look, because Monday through Friday, at minimum, you are masked for, a greater part of a day.
I think that's why I like doing this show. And I think that's why a lot of our listeners enjoy our show as well. Let's transition to Lisa's piece.
All right. What's the right way? Adjusting brightness when darkness is so trendy. Kiss his golden forehead back when y'all was kids. Class was in session. School days, love, glimpse, put y'all in a maze. And the dress you put on your doll had you thinking a detachable belly was goals. All that praise just to the king to say there will be 2 of you, then 3. The doll did the work, the kids, but I don't remember Kendall ruling the world. Not in my time. You know what? Let's give it a try. Let's rotate this laundry and who puts the food in your belly? Cause I'm tired and getting too old for these charades. If the world is changing, why can't we? So again, what's the right way to proceed? However your heart comfortably beats to your dream. Thank you.
All right. So whoever wants to start, what is your call to action for the culture?
I want to hear KK's. I'm sorry.
My call to action to the culture is to find those moments that you can fully unmask, whatever that looks like for you. For some, it will just be in the shower. It will just be in the car for a while, for a season. And then for others, it will look different. So whether it's connecting with others and unmasking in their presence, whether it's just finding your tribe and unmasking with them over brunch and maybe some mimosas, go ahead and unmask, whatever that looks like. But I think we need to be intentional about finding those moments where we can exist unmasked.
Mm-hmm. I have to share. It's a moment of transparency. And y'all know me. I'm the crybaby of the group, guys. I wear it well. My moment of unmasking is when I was scrolling on Facebook years ago and I saw one of my classmates post about looking for a co-host for a podcast. I was in a position where I was not able to unmask. I didn't go many places. So my call to action is find a hobby. It could possibly be a podcast where you're able to be your authentic self and you're able to talk about situations, scenarios, and things that happen in your culture, and let that be a starter to your outlet. So, yeah.
My call to action for the culture is very similar to KK's, basically. Well, to yours too. Like, I look forward to a day where we don't have to wear a mask, but I don't know if that's going to happen in my lifetime. But I know there are some real consequences sometimes for like showing up as your authentic self. But whenever there's an opportunity to unmask, I think you should do it. I think we need that for our sanity. And I also think that like when we do unmask and we're able to give people part of our authentic self, I feel like God created you to be who you are because he made you unique. And I think everybody benefits from your presence and you just showing up as who you were created to be. Also, our experiences matter too. So I feel like we need to keep telling people about our experiences, regardless of how much they want to shut us up and tell us we're being controversial and whatever. I'm also calling the culture to unmask with us. If you enjoyed this episode, click the plus in Apple Podcast or the subscribe button in YouTube to make sure that you're getting these episodes. We also love to hear what you love about the show. Let us know it in the comments. We also appreciate every 5-star review that you give us. So if that's how you're feeling, go ahead and drop us something. Until we meet again. Oh, go ahead, KK.
Look,
I
gotta tell y'all, you gotta be strategic about when you unmask. Carnival said they sick of y'all unmasking, twerking, and line dancing and doing all the things on their ship. They said y'all can't do that no more. You can't bring no more fans. Carnival said cut it out. They said That's what Carnival said.
First of all, I seen a documentary. Carnival is full of it.
I can't bring myself to watch that.
Carnival said y'all a little too free. That's what Carnival said.
Carnival
y'all getting too loose
together. When you get your it together, then we'll talk about it.
Well, Carnival put some restrictions on some of y'all.
Didn't they get rid of the fans or something? Wouldn't they say you can't bring the fans?
You can't. Yeah, so where them fans at? We don't know.
Not on Carnival.
Not on Carnival. Hey, Rob,
baby, let me tell you something.
Said, don't bring it over here. You
let me tell you
mask over here.
If I pay that much where everything's unlimited, I'm talking about if I put the drink package on there, don't you worry about what I'm doing. Okay? When you got my money, long as I'm being respectful, that's it. Okay? If I pay for a week with unlimited beverages, okay, and I get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, go eat my little breakfast, and I go get my beverage right behind it. Don't worry about it. So won't. Now
they said, put that fan away, Lisa. We don't care how much you pay. Put that fan away and stop twerking.
Well, I ain't gonna twerk, but I ain't gonna be hot either. So now we need to figure this out.
All right. Until we meet again.
King and queens keep doing big things.